Hi everyone, this is Mike Gordon. Welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Final Fantasy VI Advance. Last time we just saved Celeste from the clutches of of a really bad situation. She was gonna be executed. Anyways, I'm going to try to adjust her equipment, so I decided to give her the Hermes sandals and white cape. Hermes sandals so she could escape faster, and white cape for extra defense. And that's about it. I decided I wanted to bolster Locke's damage output a little bit. Turned out it wasn't as great as I thought it'd be, but well, we'll get to it when we get to it. Anyways, oh yeah, now we have access to new items. For the record, if you're going through this section, I would probably recommend skipping the Great Sword and Heavy Shield, because there's like only one frame in the entire game, and granted that frame repeats every 256 frames or so, where you can actually go through the entire South Figaro Underground, nabbing all the items, and not encounter Commander 3 at 80 points. And this is actually the frame that I got the no Commander 3 encounters, and still got all the items. It's not that Great Sword or Heavy Shield become anything unique later on. In fact, it's the only way you can... In fact, grabbing them is basically the only way you can get them in the World of Ruin. If you didn't get them already in the World of Balance. But I digress. Anyways, I'm basically just stalling this out, trying to steal for supplies and whatnot. Yeah, so let's run out of magic points already. She does not have access to Cure, by the way, because she's level 3. Yeah, Terra has access to Cure at level 3, but not Celeste for some reason. I think she learns it at level 4. Anyways, Locke gains all the experience. And don't worry, I'm gonna reset Locke's level later. I'm just doing this for the benefit of something quick and easy. Give him a ton of potions here. Because again, no cure, and even if I did, Celeste has used up all her magic points in that one battle. So, yeah, Celeste already bought the font. Sucks. I know. Alright, so after this, sometime after this battle, or maybe it's another battle later on in this dungeon, I eventually kind of realized I should probably move Locke to the front row. Of course, it's also around here that I start realizing that I should probably, rotate between Vector Hound, attacking between the Vector Hounds, so I can gain more experience. Anyways, I got the iron armor. I absolutely recommend that you get that. Anyways, the item arrangement in this episode is a complete mess. It's getting extremely convoluted how much health I've done, how much damage I deal. So right now I decided to attack the Vector Hound 2 or 3 times, and I go to the other Vector Hound, do the same thing, so I could kill them both off before the other runs away. Alright. Oh, fuck. Probably should have attacked the first one, well, first. But I'm figuring it out, Here, you don't have to worry about it because we're taking out the commander last. Alright. And I think we are also about to witness our first desperation attack real soon. Alright, that's our first Vector Hound down. It's here? Nope. It's a when you're at low health, it's a 1 in 16th chance. There it is. Mirage Dive. Man, that dealt a lot of damage. So I'm getting over a cold. So, there you go. Probably should have sped up these battles a bit because it's taking a really long time to take these enemies out. But yeah, the one enemy formation you absolutely should pick up is the Vector Hound Commander formation. Getting the 2 Vector Hounds isn't a big deal. Getting the Commander 3 formation isn't a big deal in theory. But there's a reason why I don't want to run into those. Anyways, I'm grabbing the optional heavy shield and great sword, since, well, they're out of the way and all that. Well, I'm honestly wondering when I start wising up and decide to just move Locke to the front row. And I don't wise up to the Vector Hound strats. So I keep getting less experience. Think that, yeah, here it is. Move Locke to the front row. He basically stays in the front row for the remainder of the scenario. There are no enemies down here. So I'm free to pick up the High Ether X Potion and the Hidden Ribbon, which is going to be very, 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 very important to us really soon. And is another reason why I chose Locke's scenario first. Believe it or not, doing Locke's scenario first, I would probably do regardless of what version of Final Fantasy VI you decide to play, simply so you can optimize the belt formations a bit better. I mean, even the European version, you can actually level reset your characters so that you can grab all the characters in any order you want. I still decide to do the Locke scenario first for the belt formations. I'm just making sure I don't miss my step count. Oh, and here he goes running away. Probably decided that would be. Maybe I figured that it'd be faster if I just let the other one run away. Anyways, I'm taking some extra steps here just so I can meet my step count. It probably would not be all that right to skip my step count and all that jazz. So, there we go. And I did all this so I could make it to South Figaro Cave without getting to a random encounter. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have taken it. And the reason for this is because of, Dumbledore here. Giving Locke an emergency high potion. Saving my game. Sure what that's about. And a little bit of eddy magic here. I spliced this one in following a reset. And this one's simple enough. You want to get the Goldbear Acrophes formation, but you also don't mind grabbing Protagra and Acrophes as well. And because I'm going to be resetting my levels in this episode, just gonna show you how the level reset glitch actually works in the European version. I'm free to gain some experience here. Alright, the Cartagra here is new, and once I kill that, I will be at 9% bestiary. I actually did the calculations myself, so you're welcome. The only enemy that we could have ran into that is not our bestiary is the were-rat enemy. Technically, we are also missing a couple other enemies by not doing Terra scenario first, but we're doing Terra scenario last for the sake of Velt formations. And yeah, that's the boss right there. Honestly, it's kind of simple enough for avoiding the two unnecessary encounters here. One of them's really rare and hard to find anyways. And the other one's just as common as the others, but it would still amount to 6 and 16 odds of getting a bad encounter. So you have a good sporting chance at avoiding those. And I'm removing Celeste's equips and giving her sprint shoes. No idea why. And I just sort of realized that I want to remove the Gigas glove from Locke as well. So I'm giving him the Knight's Code. And they both have and here we are, the boss fight. What is that? Something's coming through the walls. Yeah, this is probably one of the toughest bosses in a true low-level speedrun that would avoid unnecessary experience points and level resets. So, stole a common air knife. That's good. But my strategy here is the same as usual. Locke attacks and only heals when necessary, and Celeste uses Runic. But she doesn't use Runic after every time her turn comes up. She only uses it after the enemy performs an attack. And it's not a counterattack. Anyways, this boss proved really cooperative. And because I leveled up Locke some, I'm actually doing a lot more damage. Tunnel armor than I otherwise would have had I fought him with the level 5 Locke. It's also a much easier boss fight as a result. And I'm glad he's cooperative because he has not yet targeted Celeste. She can only really take 1, maybe 2 physical attacks and 1 drill before dying. And that's the end of the boss fight. Oh yeah, I forgot, I'll talk about the items later. But we could use the Thunder Rod if we wanted to, but it becomes something better later on. And the X Potion won't become anything more than that afterwards. And we're about to perform our first level reset. Here's how it works. You save your game like so. Then you hit the quick save. And then we're gonna go start a new game. And I'm gonna fast forward all this at 20 times speed because nobody wants to see this all over again. So what I do this time is I basically just fight all the enemies here. Just making it to the very end. And what you want to do is you want to get all the way up to the point where you want to reset character's level and then get game over. And here, I'm basically just going to demonstrate all the future low-level runs ahead of time, how they are supposed to play out. Technically, I only needed to play up until I got control Locke and get a game over there. But I want to show how you get the process. You meet Sabin, and we're back where we left off. What you want to do is get to the point where you name Sabin, go out, single fire spell on Terra, get a game over, and then you will spawn at your last save point in your previous file due to a bug with the quick save glitch. And looky here, Sabin's level 1. Spoiler alert, I had already reset Sabin's level to level 1 previously. That's how I got Celeste to level 3. I'm just showing you how the whole process works. That way, I'm gonna try to buy at 66 plumed hats because one of them's equipped. I think Edgar has that, and I bought 11 10s, maxed out on shurikens, and bought some invisibility and shadow scrolls, and I think I'm good here for now. We're going to pick up Shadow here. He's going to also be at level 3 on account of everyone else's levels. Spoiler, if you actually go up to the point where you name Shadow, after you've recruited him, Shadow's level would be re-averaged to level 4 instead. Or even if you already had a level 4 Edgar, level 3 Terra, level 5 Locke, Shadow would be level 4. And I'm just going through all the unique dialogue options here. This is definitely a weird old kook. This is living out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, we'll get on to that sub in just a bit. Yeah, let's check out the bed first. That's a free inn. Not that we really needed it. Anyways. Yep. Kid. I don't have any kids. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, we'll get back to that a bit later. Anyways, we are back in the world map. And, I want to strip Shadow naked here. But I'll give him some sprint shoes, so I can move a lot faster. And Sabin gets the ribbon and earring. Because, he will definitely be needing that since he's level 1. I could technically bolster his level a bit before moving on. I want to keep this as authentic as possible. I probably could have taken out those, I probably could have killed those enemies. You know, there's only one enemy in the forest we want to encounter, one area, and one, enemy formation that we want to encounter in the, plains. And I manipulated the encounters here to make sure I only ran into those enemies. Nothing else. A little tip I would give you is I would save for a lot. Just take a few steps, save, another few steps, save. If you run into an encounter you don't want, you reset. And then you repeat the process over again. That's how you do it, at least in the world map. Oh, sorry. I was not expecting Shadow to still be alive at this point, so, gonna have to figure something out here in just a bit. There are an awful lot of soldiers here. Yeah, I'm not going to update the item or enemy formations here just yet because we're not in a situation where we can just grab them. This is all cutscenes. Anyways, it seems that Kefka is scheming to get rid of General Leo somehow, which actually implies something else that will appear later on at this point. And Kefka's just an asshole. He's also an idiot, but an asshole nonetheless. Yeah, sorry about that. I have not been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VI lately. Because on top of just being exhausted all the time and just coming down with an illness due to lack of sleep. Don't worry, I'm negative. So I'm kind of slow on updates. I really need to clamp down on these perfect playthroughs before college semester actually begins in full force. Alright, and we are about to meet our next party member, and he's gonna be at level 5 instead of the usual level 7. And there's Cyan. It's just a shame he's not that great a character to play as, and he is so much worse now than he was in the US version as far as the level reset glitch and how it's supposed to work. Anyways, we want to talk to one of these other soldiers just ramming into a wall, acting like fools. Because this is the only place in the game that we can encounter Imperial Soldier 2 or 52-4 formation. So after this moment, they are gone forever. And they are easy to miss. Alright. And yeah, and this is why Cyan is so much more worse now than he was before, and it's because he does not have access to his second Bushido, which is Sky. Oh, well, he took care of business. And no, I don't think I need to heal up. And we actually wanted to make sure we get the common black belt drop. However, this boss can actually be quite difficult. Well, he's treated more as a normal enemy, but he's a boss. Let's be perfectly blunt here. He takes more than one hit to kill, unless you're using Sky, but we don't have that. So we are stuck using this shitty-ass Bushido skill over and over again because we have no other means of fighting back. And thank God that was his only counterattack. And we got the black belt too, so that's all good. I think Cyan is supposed to have like this Elizabethan style of English, but it doesn't really pan out all that well in this version. Anyways, I'm just going to an optional encounter here just for Gil and just for the sake of Gil, and as well as to manipulate the next encounter that we want, which is Doberman 2. By the way, I spliced the, you want to kick the chest here, because hitting the chest gets you a pretty dumb cutscene and nothing else. Here we actually want to get the 2 Doberman here. And there's 2 reasons for this. Number 1, Doberman 2 is a much rarer and much more difficult formation to get than Doberman 3. No, reason number 2 is because Doberman 3 kind of interrupts how I want to structure the belt formations here. So Doberman 2 is much more ideal. In General Leo here, we remember that the rich man's daughter nearly blew her family's cover that they are affiliated with the Empire by mentioning him. Nearly mentioning him. And he is way too overly nice to be a general in any military force, much less a realistic general that commands authority. He's the example of an unreasonably honorable man in a power-hungry, highly militarized empire. So yeah, bent on world domination. I don't know why power-hungry dictatorships would ever have a man like General Leo on their squad. And pro tip, he's supposed to be black, but sprite limitations keeps that from being shown. So if we ever get a remake or maybe the repixel version of this game, will change his skin color, make him black. Yeah, it's actually implied that Kefka planted the message, these summons, with the carrier pigeon to return to the Empire, so that Kefka himself could take over operations here. And Solus even stated as such that he planned on killing everyone in Doma via poison. So yeah, we are getting some insight to what Solus was talking about when she was being well, not tortured, because Game Boy Advance version, and it's sexist for men to be beating up on women. Even though it makes Solus look a hell of a lot weaker, it's still sexist. Do I look like... Wait, he says, do I look like a waiter? I will at least admit that Kefka has some rather morbid jokes. One of them actually gets censored. One of them is completely changed to the Game Boy Advance version. But we'll get to that when we get to that. And it's much, much later in the game anyways. Oh boy. Hopefully next week I'll be feeling much better. And we want to pick up some easy to miss treasure chests. And that chest in particular is very easy to miss. And even though this formation isn't necessarily missable, the chest is. And we also want this formation on the belt anyways. And we also want to stand all by itself in its particular group anyways. It's 8-5. And for the rest of the way, all other formations encountered here in the Imperial camp are mandatory. Or either mandatory or are not, or do not appear on the belt anyways, I should say. So yeah, Templar 2, Doberman 2, or 3. But not both. But you can't take both. And Saul are the only missable formations here. And the only one I would pass up on is Doberman 3 because Doberman 2 is more ideal. And honestly, it's very, very stunning that Shadow still hasn't died yet. At least Sabin Blitzes will take care of the troopers here that the satellite had just summoned. After its obligatory counterattack, which is also the reason why I gave Sabin the ribbon in the first place. Alright. And I also ultimately decided to just give Shadow the some equipment because he's not dying anytime soon. Things I cure him his blindness. Give him just one quick potion, and now I'm gonna talk to Kefka again. Yeah, I'm not going to read the dialogue here. I'm just way too tired, and I don't have the voice to do voiceovers. Anyways, because I have a multi-hit attack now in Razor Gale, I actually have a couple. I have another one. I'm just using this one because nothing absorbs the wind elemental. So, just having Shadow use shurikens on the Templars while Sabin group attacks is ideal. And further in, yeah, Kafka poisons everyone in Doma. So, yeah. I want to explain some things here. I want to be frankly really honest with you. The only reason why I ran away from the enemies I ran into on my way here is really just for the sake of brevity. You could just kill them with Sabin and then just run away afterwards, but at the same time, I kind of tell that Shadow can and will leave your party at any time. The Imperial camp and an upcoming dungeon that we are about to enter are pretty much the only places that he won't run away from. They won't leave your party on a whim, under any circumstances. And that makes sense. Oh. And I'm gonna replace the Hyper Rust with the Sprint Shoes for a brief moment. I'm not even gonna bother updating my items here because I know I'm gonna re-equip the Hyper Rust immediately afterwards. You mean with great haste, not with all haste. Yeah, at least this game has a slightly better idea on what the Elizabethan English is supposed to be like. Though clearly the game does not take too many chances with that. Other than some stereotypical, well, not stereotypicals, more like prototypical word choices like thy, thee, thou, thine. But they don't, you read some classic Shakespeare, it's actually still fairly easy to understand without an objective criteria. It's still very much our language, it's just the meanings of the words are different sometimes. There's a hidden remedy, and that's quite tragic. This guy came so close to saving himself, but was ultimately too late. This is really, 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 really depressing. Honestly, if Cyan was not utter trash and is made so much worse because of this new route, I honestly would have. He would have been one of my favorite characters in this game if he didn't suck ass in battle. Yeah, I know it's kind of morbid to put the like, comment, subscribe thing on here, but, well, what else can I say but, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you like what you see here. Yep. And I'm actually going to get a couple of unique lines of dialogue that are missable. And yeah, we're gonna end up going through there anyways. Like, that makes a lot of sense. Alright, I just used, yep. By the way, killing Shadow all throughout this game is a huge pain in the ass. He is highly evasive, and his dog Interceptor will block attacks left and right. I skipped the last battle because it was a duplicate of the last encounter. You don't really need to worry about getting both Soldier 3 and Soldier 4 because neither formation will appear on the Veld. And, yep, that's it. Alright, then. I need to see if I can't figure out. Alright. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Kind of funny. I actually panicked when I first. There were sometimes some moments where I just panic and forget that Shadow did not just leave my party impromptu in the middle of escaping. He just went off screen, grabbed his own magic tech armor. Because this is an example of a cutscene that only takes Sabin and Cyan into consideration. This is because Shadow is an optional character for the most part in this game. In fact, Shadow and one other character that we will recruit in the next episode are pretty much optional characters in all but name. There's only, similar to Mog, there's only one reason why they are mandatory. And I'm trying to make it all the way to the Phantom Forest without getting to any random encounters. And luckily I didn't. And I'm gonna unequip Shadow and Cyan, like thoroughly unequip them. Except for Shadow's sprint shoes, I will keep them. The reason for this, I want them to die, and I want them to die quickly. Especially Shadow. And I think that was when I screwed up with the item count in hindsight. Trying my best, but probably should have checked my items. Yeah. The reason why I chose not to fight these enemies yet is because we're about to hit the spring, and there's really no point in killing them now. So, got myself basically a free end, and that was a repeat of the last battle. But here there's only one formation that we want, and that's Ghost 2 Poplin 3. And I went with extra steps here to make sure I actually got what I wanted. I just wished it wasn't a pincer attack. So I'm fast forwarding through this battle because this is a tedious pain in the ass. At least Shadow went down relatively quickly. Screwed up my blitz, and I got everything in order, and now I have 2 additional Beseria entries. And I'm actually level 4, so not bad, all things considered. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get like a level 3 ghost or something. Honestly, it probably should be like level 4. If the level average. Yeah, let's see, 9. Let's see, 9, 9, 15, 25. It would actually be 3 still. Because I have 3 level 3 characters, 2 level 5s, and 2 level 4s. So, yeah. Because Sabin is not 1 level higher. I'm gonna have a ghost that's gonna be really, really frail and really, really weak. Yeah, we could just jump off the back, but the game doesn't want us to do that for some reason. And here's some extra bit of dialogue here. I have no idea if this switch that Sabin flips did anything or not. As far as I can tell, nothing happens. It's just for the sake of a cutscene. At least with Final Fantasy IX, when you get chastised for turning the switch left and right, you get items. But not here, I suppose. Just just stepping over everything. Trying to get the item in the corner here, and that was a hidden tent. Ask about the train. And that's when we want to escape before we join them in the afterlife. Yep. And we want to get every enemy encounter here in the Phantom train before we leave. And luckily we got the rare formation right away, so I think we are free to leave the back car right now. I do have a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to just run away from battles like this. Anyways, the ghost, again, has crappy stats. Not only does it have crappy stats, it has no equipment whatsoever. Aside from a single leech ring, which means that healing items actually hurt it in battle. Anyways. Oh god damn it, it hadn't turned its ass around. Take out the lone living dead on that side. So now the ghost is gonna die. And that's something else I forgot to mention. The ghost dies, it leaves your party. Alright. So I got the one formation I actually care about in the first half of the Phantom train, so I can just make a mad dash to the next section. And I encountered a single bomb. Okay. For what it's worth, at least Sabin's gaining more experience points than he otherwise would have. And the other two enemies we will actually encounter later on in the Phantom train. Only Living Dead 3 is, and I made an error here, it should be Living Dead 3 at the bottom. And we actually encountered the Ghost formation that we wanted. We just want Ghost 1 instead of Ghost 3. One of those formations is mandatory, which is why I got what I wanted out of this. So, here we go. Most of the ghosts here are hostile and will give you either Ghost 1 or Ghost 3. since we are only going to be talking to the friendly ones that want to join our party, we will not have to worry about fighting another ghost for the rest of the Phantom Train. Anyways, as I was saying, Living Dead 3 is the only missable formation on the Phantom Train that is exclusive to the first half. The others can be found in the second half of the Phantom Train. Alright. There's something very strange about the last car we just passed. Like, there's like this wide open door right there. And I sometimes wonder if there's something in there for us to get. Anyways, I skipped over a battle. It was just a single bomb. I'm just gonna skip over repeat encounters here, since we're trying to get everything. I did not mean to do that, but okay. And that was one of the formations that we could have got in the first half of the Phantom Train. So I'm actually glad that we got this one right off the bat. Now we just need to get the other two formations. Something else I should note, I'm honestly glad that Phantom Train was extremely cooperative with me. Because the encounters here can be really stingy. Anyways, only one of the formations here isn't missable, but, well, technically there are two formations on the Phantom Train, but in this car in particular, there's only one that isn't missable. It isn't this one, it's the next one that we're gonna encounter. Oversoul Living Dead. And it's not missable, but we're better off just grabbing everything on our first visit through the Phantom Train anyways. Rather than just having to focus on this one Oversoul formation for our first trip. Anyways, the ghost in the middle here is a friendly ghost. I believe there is one more friendly ghost in the Phantom Train. And luckily, we encountered the last remaining enemy here relatively quickly. And now the ghost is at level 5, I believe. Because I got Sabin's level a bit higher. However, Shadow, Terra, and Celeste are still holding it back, so the ghost still can't really take a hit. And don't worry, I'm going to reset Sabin's level before the end of this episode. I mean, not before the end of this episode, after the end of this episode. Anyways, I'm actually going to, reveal all unique dialogue options for the dining cart here. Before you move on. Cyan does not have any unique dialogue for when he's the party leader when eating. Because he says, is this food truly safe enough to eat? That is the dialogue you hear Cyan say here is all he will say, and we'll just repeat those lines when he's party leader. But Sabin has another unique set of dialogue when you have him as party leader dining in yet again. Alright, and I'm gonna show everyone else's off, too. Well, Shadow and the ghosts. Yep, the ghost just goes apeshit until you press A. And then he will eat. And finally we have Shadow. And this is honestly pretty good characterization here. Interceptor, are you hungry too? Yuppie decides to help feed his dog first before eating himself. And yeah, Shadow will never leave your party while on the Phantom Train. Additionally, Shadow will never leave your party. If he's dead, then he won't leave your party. Or if he's the only one alive, and that's to avoid some chicanery that could result in a game over. Anyways, go around to the back to get the earring. And I want to try to get all the other encounters here. And since I'm trying to kill off Shadow and Cyan again, I want to kill him off quickly. Unfortunately, he used gravity on Cyan, which means it's... Excuse me. Which means it's going to take forever and a day to kill him. And you also have to kind of hope that he doesn't... Interceptor doesn't counterattack with... Because if he does, Shadow gains experience and will probably end up leveling up anyway. So, yeah, sucks. Interestingly enough, and here's a missable encounter here. And this is just for bestiary's sake. He does not appear on the veldt. He probably should have, because if he did, we would... Because... As a result, there is one additional... He is basically one additional missable range on the veldt. Since he doesn't appear on it. Bah. By the way, because Shadow's dead, Interceptor won't counterattack, so you get all unique dialogue from Siegfried here. By the way, if you screw up your inputs, or you think you screwed up your inputs, you just exit out by pressing B and then hit Blitz again and try again. And he ends up stealing the contents of the chest. And that's something you should keep in mind. There's a lot of empty chests, and even chests are already open throughout the world of Final Fantasy VI, and those chests are all items that Siegfried steals. And here's another tent that's hidden. There's also supposedly a hidden fairy ring on the car, but it is impossible to grab it. Like, literally impossible, to the point that's effectively dummied. Forgot that there's nothing in there, so I quickly exited. It's a clone of the previous room, by the way, so if you took into the contents of one room, the other room's contents disappear, and vice versa. And there's now one more encounter for us to get in this second half of the Phantom Train. And by the way, I'm not counting outside in all this. I know encounters here, so I'm just going to loot the items here. Sniper Eye, another Phoenix Sound, and here's a strategy worth using against Apparition. Just possess it and it dies instantly. Unfortunately, the ghost leaves your party as a result because it dies. Now there are only 3 formations left for us to get. 9-6 and 10-2 are both outside. I decided to pick up the last ghost on that Phantom Train for convenience sake. And now I need to try to run into the last ghost encounter in the second half. And we got it! Interestingly enough, this formation isn't missable either. and will appear later on in the Soul Shrine alongside Oversoul Living Dead, but again, I figure it's just better off getting everything the first time around. Also, defeat apparition means we're well, no. After we defeat this upcoming, here's some unique dialogue. The ghost leaves our party before we have a chance to, and that's another repeat. There are only 2 more formations left and they're both outside, which is why I'm skipping saving my game here. First switch and third switch are what you have to flip. And then before we examine the smokestack, we want to get the remaining formations quickly. I messed up the input, so I exited out, used Rising Sun again, and I took out all the Angel Whispers in one go. And now we got one last encounter. And that's the last one. 9-6. Angel Whisper Cloud. And we got the ball. Getting a level up, given the situation, but it doesn't hurt, I guess. Also, this is something I did not do last time because I was keeping everyone's levels low. Well, this time, I learned some of Sabin's 8 blitzes, so I'm gonna do something that is a total me. I'm gonna suplex the train. Oops. I screwed up when I paused the game. I accidentally hit pause, and I did not use those saves, and I did not make a separate save state before beginning the boss. Or in this case, Meteor Strike the train, but it's actually, but the original Super NES version is called Suplex. Effectively, I'm suplexing the train. But now we'll just end the battle right here, right now. We had our fun, but it's time to use up the extend and kill the Phantom Train. Anyways, to perform it, I think it's like RL up and down or something. I don't know. On the notes for it. Anyway, sorry this episode went a little long, but I want to make the next episode entirely about the Veld, and as well as Mobley's and Gao and whatnot. Luckily, it shouldn't be as long since there are only 4 bestiary entries that were missing, not counting Were-Rat or any of the enemies from Terra scenario. Seems we have arrived. This is also fairly sad, all things considered. Just kind of funny because there's like a funny bit smack dab in the middle of it. That's the bit where Cyan just knocks Shadow and Sabin off the edge. Right there. A funny moment in the middle of a horribly depressing moment. I don't really like the way Owain says his lines. Like, Dad, I rather prefer, Dad, I'll keep practicing my skills. It's like, it's kind of anticlimactic farewell here. And some unique dialogue here. Best even be. And I'm gonna edit out the wait. And finally, as it turns out, I have enough step count to make it all the way outside Baron Falls without an encounter. I decided, you know what, I'll use a tent. That's literally therefore. Anyways, now we actually want to fully equip Cyan and fully unequip Shadow. Move his sprint shoes. Give Cyan the Gigas Glove and Hyperus. Also, I forgot, Cyan cannot use the shield without a katana, unless it's equipped with the katana blade. And that's the equipment setup. I'll remember the earring next episode, so I'll wrap this up. This is Mike Gordon, signing out.